Hello, welcome back to another video. This video has been a long time coming. I've not made a video for a couple of months now, having a little break from the old tubes. Still around though, still leaving the odd comment, but I have really been just watching videos more. Watching them a lot on my lunch breaks and things like that. But anyway, so I thought I'd just make a quick update video and a few pickups, just so I can get my face back out there before Blackpool, just in case nobody recognises me. People forget, out of sight, out of mind and all that. Yeah, so what I've been up to, not a great deal really. I've been doing a shitload of gaming, been really knocking out the shooters. I've been firing through them a lot. I think that's kind of what I've noticed about a lot of people recently, is that I don't think you can do YouTube and game at the same time. Not if you're an adult with a life. I think you could really only do one or the other. So I've been, with me not concentrating on YouTube, I've been really focusing on my gaming. So yeah, so knocking through the shooters, having a great time with them, still loving them. That's the majority of my pickups are shooters. We'll get to them in a wee bit. Also went on holiday for a bit. I had a couple of weeks off my work. Me and the missus went away various places, and I made a pit stop in London. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet people that I was hoping to meet. I wanted to go see Dal and Scott, Saturn lad, things like that. But it really was just a whistle stop of London. I was only there for a couple of hours, less than a couple of hours. So I saw a couple of sites, saw my family that was down there. And yeah, so I'm hoping to go back down again. Had a great time though, it was a good place. Fucking busy though, busy for this wee country boy like myself. It wasn't too bad. But enough rambling on. What else have I been up to? I also got myself into a bit of a fight, a bit of a ruckus with a dwarf. But luckily it all worked out in the end and we ended up having a beer together. I've been playing a lot of arcade. Actually, it seems to be the focus at the moment of YouTube. People starting to go down the arcade route. So I've been playing a lot of my main machine. And I did originally download a load of shooters, not a lot of shooters, a load of games when I first built that a couple of years ago now. But what I found with, like I've always found with emulation, is I was just playing each game for a couple of minutes and forgetting about it. So I deleted all my ROMs and now I'm just slowly just downloading a couple every month. So recently I've been downloading a few shooters, some of the arcade only shooters. Like Dangan Fever, it's fantastic game, I'm playing that a lot. So yeah, so shows you how time flies. I was hoping to, when I first built that arcade machine, I had just a small 17-inch monitor I had lying around that I fired in it just to fill the space at the moment. I always wanted to get a 22-inch one put in. Just never got around to it, and sure enough, it's easily 2 years since I've built it. Time flies, but I do plan to do it soon. I actually just missed out on a 19-inch sold CRT style monitor off Gumtree a few weeks ago, but that's a different story. Anyway, so let's crack on with a few pickups. I won't show you a lot because it's just not how I roll now. But I have got a few prime examples. I am slowed down a lot this year on pickups. These are basically all the pickups from November, so 5 months really. And I'm getting there. I've got, after I go to Blackpool and meet a certain someone, I'm going to have one more Saturn shooter that I need. Not for a full set, but for the ones I want to buy. And I'm only needing 5 Mega Drive shooters. So hopefully I'll maybe pick them up in Blackpool. But anyway, enough fucking pissing about. First pickup was an absolute bargain, and it is a plum tart. Look at the size of this fucker, it's huge. Saw it as does, 70 pence. I thought, that looks fantastic, and the plan was, it says on the back, just cut off a slice and cook it straight from frozen. So I thought, fuck, that's going to do me a week's worth of lunches. But I never really thought it through. I froze, before cutting it, I froze it as a whole. And as you can see, can't wait to give me some pie. Damn it. Doesn't really pan out. But anyway, apart from that, what will I go to next? I will go to this actually. A game I picked up about before Christmas actually, is Redux Dark Matters for the Dreamcast. Nothing too fancy, nothing too special. The reason I mention it is they actually, if you know anything about the Hughcast and that, they basically fuck up everything they do. They're not the greatest developers. Not a massive fan of the company as a whole. But they fucked up Redux on the Dreamcast. They made it super fuzzy compared to the Steam version, which was crystal clear in HD. So they done a re-release on a disc, which is here. And the reason I mentioned this was because if you had bought Redux previously, you were able to get this for free. All you had to do was basically pay for the printing of the disc and postage, which was like £3, and they sent you it. But I actually bought my Redux off eBay from a guy in Holland for £18, so I didn't pay the full price from Hughcast. But they didn't check, so they were still able to send me out a disc. So I've basically got two versions of it: a super sharp version and a fuzzy version. But yeah, I wouldn't be worth picking it up, to be honest, guys. It's not the greatest, unless you're a Dreamcast shooter fan like myself. One thing that did come with it, which was pretty cool, was this free book. You've probably maybe seen it on eBay. It's just a wee catalogue that sells, it doesn't sell, it just tells you about all the shooters for the various systems. It's got Saturn, PlayStation and things like that, and it shows you all the front covers and that for them. So it's pretty cool. It's got Saturn, it's got PlayStation, PS2. So it's quite good if you're missing any shooters like me. I'm kind of going for most of the shooters on the system. Good just to double check to see which ones you've maybe missed. But the guy that sold me that Redux threw that in for free, and I think they normally sell these for like a tenner. So it's all in Dutch, I think. Might be German. I'm not too sure. I'm not big up on my languages. But yeah, so 18 quid, not too shabby. Right, what will I talk about next? Picked up a PlayStation game, just one actually in the last couple of months. I'm slowing down on my PlayStation buys, and this is called Metaphilist. Metaphilist, aye. This, believe it or not, is the rarest shooter for the PS1. At least in Britain. This never gets listed on eBay. It's went up a handful of times in the last sort of 6 months. Not expensive when it goes up. I think I only paid about £14 for this, but for some reason it just never goes up. Whereas games like Gaia Seed, which is known to be rare, it's like most rare games, it comes up often, but it's expensive. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure there'll be loads of copies of these lying about Japan everywhere, but I don't know if people don't realise it's a shooter. It's not the greatest shooter on the system, but quite ambitious actually. It's got a lot of FMV style videos in between and things like that. It's sort of story driven. There's a big massive overworld where you can pick different levels and things like that. But yeah, Metaphilist. So keep an eye out for that. Not that it's worth any money or that. But yeah. So that was a PlayStation 1 pickup. I finally found Dragon Blaze. For the PS2, this finished my PAL collection of shmups for the PS2. I did have a full set up until 2 months ago, where I decided to sell my copy of Ocean Commander. Kind of regretting it now actually. I only paid £17 for my copy, and someone offered me £50 for it, and I sold it. To be honest, I don't think I'll ever buy it back because it's not the greatest game. So I'm happy with maybe just a complete UK shooter collection, minus Ocean Commander. But yeah, Dragon Blaze, fantastic game. Really, it's probably one of the best in the system actually. Again, it doesn't come up that often. I've wanted it for a long time. Always comes up as buy it now for around the £30–35 mark. But I eventually got a good deal on it. So I was happy with that. Dragon Blaze, so that's me finished on my PAL PS2 shares. Just Japanese ones to get now. I've actually picked up 2 non-shooter games in the last little while. The first one is for the PC Engine, and it is Legend of Valkyrie. Bought this for a while and I was hesitant to buy it. It's not a dear game or anything, it's only like £10–15. But there's some Japanese text in it, but it's a pretty good, it's like a sort of top view, almost like a Zelda top view sort of run and hack and slash type game. But actually it turns out it's really good, it's pretty fun, it's pretty hard. Password system's really annoying on it because half the passwords are in English and half of them are in kanji. So trying to find out what kanji matches the password is pretty frustrating. But definitely worth picking up, Legend of Valkyrie. But sort of like my main pick-up thing I've been doing for the last few months was I picked up this Rocksmith for the Xbox 360. This actually, I'm not actually using this version, I'm using the latest one, 2014. But yeah, I've always fancied playing the guitar. Tried a few times, always failed. So I just thought I'll give that a bash, and picked up a cheap guitar off Gumtree, 20 quid for it. So I started off like this. It's good fun. I think it's a good teacher for somebody that doesn't know much about guitar or that. I'm having fun with it. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it, but it's pretty easy to get carried away. I do kind of take things to the extreme sometimes. So that's Rocksmith. Worth picking up for if you're interested in learning the guitar at all. Right, I'm going to have to crack on and get a finger out here. Got the other PC Engine game. Just a cheap one actually. It's better for, I've picked up a couple, but this is probably the bargain of the bunch. And that is Salamander. I've never actually played Salamander before. I always played Greatest, but never ever played Salamander. But yeah, it's really, really good, as everyone knows about Salamander. Great version of it. And the reason I picked it up was because it was on £8. Bit of a bargain. But yeah, cracking version. It's funny though, because the first level is the hardest level in the whole game. Once you get past the fucking walls that close on themselves again. Fucking hate that bit. Once you get past that, I can finish it with 1 credit, but fucking hell. And then probably the pick of the bunch for the PC Engine stuff, it's a copy of Star Soldier. Again, really good game. Wanted this for a while actually. I got this at Christmas time. Got pretty cheap actually as well. I think it was £24 or something like that. But yeah, really good game, Star Soldier. I love the Soldier series. This one's really easy, much easier than the rest. Again, you could breeze through this in one life, but really good fun. 2, 3 things I've picked up for the PC Engine actually. One is an arcade card. I managed to get a dual one. This was a best offer actually from Hit Japan. Got for £16, which is pretty good if you don't know anything about PC Engine stuff. If you want to play, basically the only game you really need an arcade card for is Sapphire. There's fighting games and things like that, but Sapphire is the main one to go for. This is why I picked this up, but if you don't have a a Duo or a CD-ROM 2 that I have, a Super CD-ROM 2, you need the red version, which is the Arcade Pro. And they are £50, they're really expensive. But if you do have, like me, have a Super CD-ROM 2, you could get away with a Duo arcade card. So as I say, £16, barganio. Sapphire is great, I've been playing a wee version of it. Another thing I picked up for the PC Engine was an arcade stick. I was able to pick up one of these, a Hori Fighting Stick Multi. These sticks get a bit of grief because they're not the greatest sticks on the planet, even though they're made by Hori, they're pretty cheap. But the advantage of these sticks is that they come with detachable cables and you can connect it to the PC Engine, the Mega Drive and the Super Famicom. So it's 3 sticks in one basically. And I've been after a stick for the Mega Drive for fucking forever. There's no any decent sticks out for the Mega Drive, I don't think. So I was just going to build my own, but I thought this fucking does the job for all 3. Like I say, I agree with some of the reviews, it's not the best build quality, but again it was a pretty good bargain. I bought it from Hit Japan again. I don't understand some of their pricing. They've got one of these on the now that is completely munted. It's all scratched up to hell and they want 45 quid I think for it. And I managed to get this one as a best offer for £20 and it came boxed complete with all 3 cables in minty mint condition. It's probably they grade it as a B, but I would say it's an A. Yeah, so I got it for 20 quid. It did cost me 20 quid to get it delivered. It only took 3 days, well 4 days if you include Sunday. So yeah, so pretty happy with that. The stick I have been using for the PC Engine is one of these, turbo stick. Not a bad wee stick actually, it's a bit too heavy for the size, but it's not micro switched either. But yeah, I got this when I first got my PC Engine. Again, it was only like £12. This was brand new actually, this was new old stock. So yeah, so obviously I would love one of the XC Pros, but I can't see me buying one of them anytime soon. Right, couple of Mega Drive games. I'm going to quick. See, I picked up a couple of good shooters for the Mega Drive. Bargain off the bunch that I've managed to pick up over the last few months is Riding Trad. Not the best version of Riding, but it was only £6, boxed and complete. I actually won this as an auction. It's in really good nick actually. But yeah, got this as like a late 2 o'clock in the morning auction. From the UK as well, which is pretty cool. But the pick of the bunch would be Battlemania 2. Troubleshooter Vintage. Fantastic game. Loved the first Battlemania. But I've got it as Troubleshooter, which is the Genesis version. But yeah, this is a fantastic, really good game. Definitely one of the best on the Mega Drive. The game I'm most proud of, though, I managed to find, was I've been hunting out the unlicensed games, and that's me got them all now. The last one I've managed to pick up was Thunderbolt 2. Beautiful minty mint condition, Japanese version, boxed and complete. There's I've actually made a video on all the unlicensed Mega Drive shooters that I'm putting the finishing touches on. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. It's a good game. It is unlicensed though, but I will talk more about it in that video. But these are pretty hard to come by. A lot of discussion whether or not they actually exist in Japanese format, or if they're all just pirated versions, because it was originally a Chinese, no, Korean, no, Taiwanese, some foreign country. And finally, as I say, I picked up a couple Saturn games. The pick of the bunch is probably Cotton Boomerang. after this for a while. I actually bought this off a fellow YouTuber who was getting rid of some of his Saturn shooters. So if you're watching this, mate, thanks very much for this. You gave me a fantastic price. I won't say what it was, obviously, because unless he wants it acknowledged. But yeah, it was a great price. I picked up 2 games actually from him. But I've wanted Boomerang for a while. I do like Cotton 2, but it gets a bit finicky with all the controls. So Cotton Boomerang sort of streamlines them. But I've only had this for about a week and a half, so I've barely scratched the surface on it. It's definitely the type of game that's going to require weeks and weeks of practice to master the controls and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Probably the second most expensive Saturn shooter on the system after Hyperdual. Blows fucking Radiant Silvergun and all that out of the water. It's like a £150 game now. It's crazy! And the bargain of the bunch is this, Blastwind. This was a version you may, if you were watching this at all, you maybe remember this off eBay. A guy from Brazil was selling it. It had writing on the manual. Lewis something. So once I'd seen it, I thought it was on the case at first, and I emailed him and he eventually told me it was on the manual. And he wanted, I think it was 85 or maybe £90 for it. So he had it on for a couple of weeks. Obviously nobody wanted it because it had writing on the manual. I eventually convinced him to sell me it for £65. I think it was. Because I had to buy it off eBay and then he refunded me the difference, which was a bit shifty at first. But anyway, so yeah, so he gave it for £65 and it came by courier. And what had happened was it was meant to arrive by a special delivery. If you know anything about Royal Mail or that, international special deliveries require scanned, but not always a signature. But they still need to be delivered before 1 PM. So it was scanned when it left the country, when it left Brazil. It was scanned when it came into the country, but somebody forgot to scan it when it was at Heathrow on the way up to my depot. So it fucking went missing. It sat on the shelf for ages and ages and ages. I contacted the guy, I told him it went missing, and he was just like, oh sorry, there's not much I could do, it's left my country. So I got in contact with Royal Mail and things like that, and then because it was a special, I was able to claim, so I got up to £100 compensation. Did I get £100 compensation? I can't remember. I basically got the full amount back plus something else, something expense or something like that. So yeah, so I claimed for it and I just wrote it off. And then it was like a week later, the woman that I know at the depot, she was just like, you lost something from Japan? And I was just like, no, it's from Brazil, but... And she was just like, oh, because there's something sitting here and you're the only person that gets stuff in like my whole town. She's like, you're always getting stuff through there. So sure enough, it was on the shelf the whole fucking time and nobody realised it was a fucking special. So basically got a full refund and I got to keep the game. So I was pretty happy with that, and I also was able to get off majority of the writing. A wee trick. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I was able to get Blastwind for fuck all, which was a bit of a bargainio. So yeah, there you go guys, I'll leave it at that. I've rambled on long enough. As I say, I've managed to pick up a few other things, but I'm not really wanting to show everything like that. I didn't really want to do a pickup video. But as I say, I'm off to Blackpool for a couple of weeks to meet yous all again. Thought I'd get a quick video out, even though it's went on for 25 fucking minutes. Anyway, leave it at that guys. I'm doing good. I've managed to sell off most of my games. Not most of my games, I've sold off all my expensive games. All my top tier ones. A lot of them went quick, like Cannon Spike for the Dreamcast and Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Wii and all that. They all went fairly quick. I've still got hundreds of PS2 games to get rid of. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe just take them to a car boot. But I'm getting there. So, I'll leave it at that. Take it easy guys. See you next time.